All right, and we are live on YouTube. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody. My name is Teresa Sanderson. I want to welcome you to this edition of the Wednesday Spotlight. I have with us today Dr. Laura Gotz. I'm not quite sure on the pronunciation of the last name, so bear with me, who is a gynecologist and a psychosomatic physician who helps women with various ailments. So I am excited to feature every week an entrepreneur on the Wednesday Spotlight who has a history of depression or also mental illness. We really try on this program to raise awareness about mental illness and what things like depression look like, because I think it's very surprising to see women with smiles on their faces who also say, hey, I am the face of depression. And the other great thing that we try to spotlight is women who are in business, who also, are living a life right along with mental illness and who can be successful. I think that's very important for people to know that as well, that we can be successful. We just may have to do things in a little different way. So with that in mind, I want to welcome our guest. Laura, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for inviting me, Teresa, and giving me the opportunity to share my story and inspire other women entrepreneurs who are going through this. I wouldn't say necessarily an illness, even though it is categorized as a disease. But for me, it's more like a spiritual trauma. What are we going through? Because this is the way I treat it. And this is where we should start when we are talking about depression.
Love that. Love that. So thank you again for taking the time to be with us here today. So tell us, if you don't mind, just a little bit about yourself and your business. What is it that you do?
This question has really bothered me over the years. And it is truly after realizing that I have depression and dealing with it, that I started to look for answers to this question. So now I would just say that I am me and I love me. And of course, all of the other stuff comes and, just like a Christmas tree, you have all the other decorations, all the other titles that you get are just decorations, but you are that beautiful, fair tree. And you are just as wonderful even without the decorations. I've always wanted to be a gynecologist. So for over 20 years, that has been my dream. And now I am one. And now after I have gone through depression and burnout, I made some changes. And now I'm more into psychosomatic coaching and psychosomatic counseling. And basically I am a therapist for women. So without talking too fancy and using so many words, I would like to say, women, if you are going through something, I'm a gynecologist. I know women. I have treated over 10,000 women, maybe even 50,000 if I start to really count in every activity that I've been doing. So I know what you're going through, and I am here to help, because I know for me, help has been very, very important. Without the help of other people, I wouldn't have recovered from my situation.
Wonderful. Wow, what a story, and what a great blessing, your talents are to women who need help. It's nice to know that, I'm a registered nurse, so it's nice to know that there's a physician here who is also a woman who has the medical background to know all of that, yet has also experienced the other side and truly knows where a woman in need is coming from. So I think that's beautiful. Thank you for what you're doing in the world. That is so important. Yeah. So tell us a little bit, Laura, about when depression entered your life and what that was like for you.
For me, okay, women are strong. Women entrepreneurs are strong, and they don't want to admit that they need help. They don't want to admit that maybe they have to take a break. So of course, a doctor, a good student, always did my best at university, and then I tried to prove myself. So I worked very, very hard. And now, after I've done my healing, I realized that I was living the life that others decided for me, because everybody said, yeah, be a doctor, is so, it's like the best job in the world. And of course I had the brains for it, so I did it. I wanted to help people, so it seemed okay. But at one point I realized that I wasn't doing this for me. I was doing it to live up to the expectations of other people. And we know how this is. You will never please people. You will never please everybody. So working hard. I was depressed, but I didn't realize it. I thought I was overworked. I thought maybe, okay, maybe if I'll get another cat, I'll be happy. So now I have 3 cats. You know, you try to and I, like, God told me, okay, you've compensated so many years and now you got a burnout. So I realized that I was depressed after having my first mental breakdown during a shift. It came unexpectedly. I was months, I could feel it, you know, that I'm on the edge. I'm on the edge. At one point you feel that something is going to happen, but again, you're a strong, driven woman, and you know, driven woman can do everything. Yeah, and then it hit me at work, and it was, you know, like a blackout. Like my soul was ripped in half. I felt it literally. It happened in my body, just like this. You know, we can speak in metaphors, and I've heard so many patients talking about what it feels like, but you cannot really relate until it happens to you. So definitely, this is how I came to realize that I had depression. And of course, yeah, when you've hit rock bottom, you have to you have to get up again, and it's a different journey for everybody.
Right. Did you, during that time when that happened, it sounds like it was very sudden, and it was also a very difficult experience, you know, for you to go through. Did you have to take some time away from work, maybe step back a little bit to kind of get your bearings? How did you come through all that?
Yeah, for me it was, I still didn't want to admit it, even though I was crying, I was shaking. So the next day I went to my family doctor, because I literally, I didn't know what to do. So this is what I want to say to women. When you reach that point, it's not drama, you know, it's not the worst thing that can happen. As long as you seek help, as long as you admit it, okay, shit. So I encourage women to really say it out loud. Okay, this has happened. Okay, how do we deal with it? It doesn't have to happen in 1 second, but okay, I need help. So I went to my family doctor, and being the smart person, you know, the doctor, he said, no, you're taking time off. It was around Christmas. So I felt the guilt. Oh my God, I'm letting my team down because I'm not going to do the shift. So it was horrible for me, but I couldn't do anything. So he wrote me sick for 2 weeks. He wanted more, but I said 2 weeks would be enough. And yeah, it wasn't enough, but I went to work after 2 weeks, and 1 year later I had my second burnout. So truly, we recommend about like 6 months maybe that you retreat and you do that inner work. For me, it was, I was doing this healing slowly, as I was working, doing different courses and listening to a lot of podcasts and YouTube. You try everything, hoping that you will get that miracle treatment, because you want to go back to the way you were, but you will never do that. When I talk to my clients who are going through depression, and I think you know, my experience with it has helped me really understand how they feel. I say that depression or burnout, it's like when you break a cup, and then you mend the cup, and the Japanese say you mend it with gold, so it looks shiny, it's more valuable, but it is still a broken cup.
Exactly.
So you have to realize that, okay, I will never be the same. If that is good or bad, we don't know.
Right.
But you have to accept that you are a new person. Suddenly, you have become a new person.
I love that you're saying that, because I think that is so important for people, for women especially, to hear, because we do put a lot of burdens on ourselves. I grew up as a child, and every day that I left the house, my mother would say with a big smile on her face, do your best, do your best, every single day. And while I always thought growing up, what a great message, she's giving me, but it really meant for me that I could never let down. Every day I need to be my best or it doesn't count, is what it ultimately felt like. And so I can see so much of myself in your story of saying, I took classes, I did things that were definitely not to please me, but were definitely to please the expectation of others. And that is a huge, huge thing. So wonderful. Thank you for sharing all of that. Now, can you share with us some of the things that you do to take care of yourself in a normal day?
Yes.
If there is a normal day for a doctor.
What is normal? So I do think definitely, I do think that I have mostly like normal days, average days, like days with no drama, or no Grey's Anatomy moments. But what I have changed actually, since I started working on myself, I became kinder to myself. And now I listen to what I need and what I want and what my body wants more. And I started to appreciate downtime, to take more pauses during the shift, and also at home. Who said I have to do anything? Who said I have to clean, I have to cook, I have to whatever,
Right.
Of these expectations of the perfect housewife. I was never the perfect housewife, and my husband knew from the start that I told him I'm not doing this. But definitely, my message to women going through this difficult time in their lives, when they're really down, because it is all in our brain, and all like a lot of substances and chemicals in our brain. You cannot change that. You have to give your body, then the brain, the time to heal. So don't feel bad when you are not cooking, when you are not cleaning, when your house doesn't look perfect. Don't try to please your husband, to please your mother, to please your neighbors, and really go back and to yourself, and think you are important. You are person number one, and you don't have to care about what any other person thinks. Because I use another example with my clients. Again, personal experience. Everybody goes with you to the party, but nobody will follow you in the dark hole. In the dark hole, you are alone. So when you are alone in the dark hole, then you realize you are the most important person, and nothing else matters. So take the time. I have some patience, and I know when I was really down, my house was a mess. My husband was doing all the cleaning, but that doesn't mean that you're a horrible person.
Right. Don't
put more pressure on yourself. I told my husband, if we have mold because the dishes aren't done, it's okay, we'll get new dishes. So I was like completely, he helped me a lot, because he also had some issues and he could relate. So ladies, don't put so much pressure on yourself. You are number one, and take the time you need to do the life that you want on your own rules, and try to get rid of the Superman complex, or the Superwoman, or the Wonder Woman complex.
Right.
This is just as bad as a depressed person, somebody who has this complex, it's also an illness. Okay. A psychiatrist know this. Is it also an illness to always do something and always want to be the best and really strain yourself out. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And I think those are all great points. So what I'm really hearing in your message about how you take care of yourself is that you give yourself a lot of grace. You judge yourself kindly. You allow some things to just be good enough. Things don't have to be perfect with the house. You're okay with saying, if I get to that today, great. If I don't, that's also good with some things.
Yeah,
And I
definitely.
think I think that is so important, because we do tend to feel as women who are also working that we have to get it all done or we're not doing it right. And that's just not the case. So thank you for that. Now, an interesting question I love to ask is there anything positive that has come from you having had this experience with depression? Anything positive in your life that has come from this?
I would like to say that was God's plan. So I talked to him and I told him, that you could have given me another lesson. I didn't really have to get this, but okay, you know better.
He's that kind of guy.
Yeah, he's like, I talked to him. I was like, dude, but okay, I'll take what you give me. The thing is that I wanted to help women. That's why I chose gynecology. And I've been with women who have been through so much, and I've dealt with rape patients and, and other sorts of abuse and pregnancy problems, and women who have lost their babies and like awful things. And I really learned a lot from them, and I became more empathic and an even better doctor. But I guess what I didn't have in order to be an even better doctor was the personal experience of having gone through depression and burnout. I think I had to have it so I can really start doing what I really want in life, which is helping women not only as a doctor, the 5-minute visit, you give a pill, it's fine. I wanted to change people's lives. I wanted to help women with this huge part of their life, because if you're helping a woman who deals with depression or burnout or anxiety, then you can change the course of her life. If you really help her, get it together and really start living her life, of course, like I said, with this small baggage, the little depression or anxiety or that little monster that's there and but you have to befriend the monster, and it's there for a reason. It's trying to protect you no matter how awful it feels. I had to have it. I had to learn to live with it, and I'm still, it's like every day it's a battle. Some days are better, some days are not so good, but this is how I became a better coach and helped me develop all of these programs. So just take whatever God gives you. It doesn't matter what it is. My God, we're having COVID now, or big fires, whatever. I know it's horrible, and but take it and use that and really think, what is this lesson for me, and how can I be better, and how can I help the world with this lesson?
Great advice, great advice. And I think I'm totally with you that I think the gifts, they're often down there. And the gift for you, it sounds like, was just really being able to, now you have true empathy for a woman who comes to you who has this going on. And that's just something that is very hard to find in a counselor or a physician. So I just think that that would be a wonderful connection and a great blessing to the women you serve. Lastly here, before we get into you sharing a little bit more about your business, I want to ask you if there was one message that you want the world to hear about depression or mental illness in general, what would that be? What would that thing you just want to shout from the rooftops and be sure everybody hears, what would that be?
I would like the world to know that depression is not something that people choose. I would like them to think that depression or burnout or any other sort of form of mental illness is like cancer. You don't want to have it. And even though you have tried probably your whole life to prevent it, do the exercise, eat healthy, don't smoke. At one point, if God wants it, then you will get it. And when this happens, the people who are suffering don't need opinions, because you don't need more negativity. You already are feeling so guilty. You think that you are the problem when you are suffering from depression. So the world just has to be kind and really supportive, and just give that person the space and time to heal. And sometimes it's just listening. You don't have to do anything. And I just let the clients talk and talk and talk, because at that point, this is what they need.
Right.
Definitely. So more support and less proactivity when dealing with people who are suffering from any sort of mental illness.
Love that. Love that. And it is not a choice. I think that is a really important message. It happens. And it's kind of, for you and for me, it sounds like when you least expect it, it's just there. All of a sudden, it's just there. And you've got this kind of unwelcome companion that is with you from here on in. Absolutely. All right. Well, I want to thank you for everything that you have shared with us so far. It's been just a pleasure to hear everything that you're doing. I think the work that you're doing is so valuable. And I'd like to give you just a few minutes here, Dr. Laura, to share with our viewers a little bit more about your business and any offers or anything like that that you may have that would be helpful to them. So the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. So I'm very happy to help women. So like I said before, even without having to use any other fancy words, I am basically a therapist for women. So I also heal body, mind, and soul. Yes, I am a gynecologist, so I can help you also with the body issues. And I also love doing my psychosomatic counseling. So how our stress or how our psyche influences our body. I would like to share 3 of my future projects. And because I really appreciate what you're doing, Teresa, and I want to send all of my love to the people watching this who find like this interesting, and I think they come to you for help because they are dealing with these issues, with anxiety, depression, and burnout. I am offering the people who use this code when they are writing to me on my website, if they use the code Teresa50 together, then you will get a 50% discount on all of the coaching. So if you say, okay, I have a problem with my kid, or I have a health issue, and you want a 1-hour session, then you will get 50% off for all of the coaching. Then I want to invite you all into my group. It's just starting out, and I'm going to have a 1-week boot camp in December where we set our goals. So if people right now at the end of 2020, at the end of this, special year, think, okay, it's not been a good ride for most of us, but we really want to kick off 2021 with a bang and really optimistic, because the situation is here to stay. So for me, it's important that people understand, okay, it's not scary anymore, it's not frustrating anymore, it is the status quo. And how do we live our lives in the status quo? Because as a doctor, I can tell you the prediction is it will be with us 1 year or even 2 years, hopefully not 2 years, but it will be there. So let's not waste 1 year of our lives just being annoyed that the situation is there, we can still do a lot of stuff. So you can write to me, and I gave you the links, and you can join the Facebook group if you write me personally. And then another project that I'm doing, I think maybe it will be interesting for you too, Teresa, if you know Theta healing. I don't know.
I'm not familiar with it. No.
This comes actually from America, from Miss Viana Tibal. She developed a whole thing with this Theta healing. It is a sort of spiritual healing with a whole lot of theory behind it. I just love it. I was very skeptical because I'm a scientist, spirits and stuff like that. But it was exactly what I needed to complement my therapy. So we will be doing a lot of energetic healing, and we will have we will eliminate the blockages in our life. And I could really feel it. It was like magic. And now I really started to believe that we can do so much if we focus more on the spirit, because it is something there. Depression doesn't come, just from the mind, just from the body. It has to do a lot with our spirit. So we should start working there at the root of the problem, and start the healing there. So I'm doing these sort of seminars, and for those who are interested, they can contact me. And let's do 2021. Let's make it a great year, a year of healing, and to get this energy that is there, but we think that we've lost it. It is there. It is in the air, and now we have to bring it back, and then really live our lives, live our best lives, live our new lives with depression and others spectrum, let's say, of mental illnesses. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you for being our guest today. I just love all the information. And Dr. Laura shared a lot of information with us about her programs and services. I'll be posting all of those links along with this video. So they're not there right now, but after you view, you will be able to find those links to get connected with her, to get that 50% discount on certain products and services that she has. So take advantage of those. It sounds like there's some wonderful things there. Lastly, I want to thank you all for joining us here on the Wednesday Spotlight. It's been my pleasure to have all of you here, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday for another edition. Thanks so much. Bye now.
Perfect. Thank you, Lisa. Bye.